Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to this career mode 737 full flight. We are flying for Austria Airways or Jetways. And we are flying from Linz, Austria to Milan in Italy. So we are departing on the Linz to Tango departure, which is this one right here. So we're flying to 83 degrees after takeoff, and then once we are at or above 3,000 feet, we're going to start making this left turn towards the Linz waypoint right there. And it did say below 205 knots, so we'll maintain that speed. Go ahead and turn our landing lights on. All these lights are already on, and seat belts on. And no smoking on. There we go. Let's initialize real quick. I forgot about that. So I think we're flying 250 today. 0 fuel weight. We're not that heavy. Reserves, we're just going to go ahead and put 0 in the reserves and put an 85 cost index. Let's go to our limit. So it's 6 degrees outside. We'll set that. And we have a pretty long runway, I think, here. Let's go ahead and look at the ground chart real fast here. See where we're going to taxi. Alright, yeah, so we got 3,000. I'm pretty sure that's in meters, so that's a nice long. So I'll go ahead and put a takeoff 1, 10% D rate. Just, we don't need full engine throttle for takeoff. And let's get taxiing, guys. Let's just see where we are. Right at that apron. Cool. So we're on the left side. Let's go look at the ground chart and compare our position. So we're right here. So I think we're going to be taking off runway 8. So we're going to taxi via Bravo here and then take off. So let's execute this. Go to the takeoff page. We're going to set flaps 5 for takeoff. Center of gravity set. Trim 4.5, and we'll set our V speeds 133, rotate, trim 4.5. Let's go ahead and set that trim right now. Looks like it's at 5.5, so I'm gonna go ahead and set it to 4.5. There we go. Okay, so yeah, all these big turns here after departure, I'm kind of confused about that. Linz, hold, okay, hold at Linz. So yeah, we don't want to hold at Linz. We're gonna take that off and just go straight to Milan. Beautiful. There we go. All right. So there we go. Now we don't have all that weird holding pattern. I don't think we want to hold. We want to continue. Gonna set heading to runway heading for departure, which we saw before was 83. And let's request taxi clearance now. This engine's going. And making a left turn to runway 08. Thanks for watching this, guys. If you're on YouTube, I know these full 737 flight videos you guys enjoy. They help you for your career mode. Off here, runway 08. So we're taking off towards the east, but we need to head west to Milan. Alright. Here we are on runway. Looks like the clouds are quite low, so we're going to be breaking through that quickly. Landing lights are on. Rejected takeoff is on. Flaps are set. Let's go ahead and take off. Just want to see if I could set my heading on. Yeah, we'll set our heading select on now so that we just fly pretty much straight. So vertical speed and heading select are both on here. Alright, here we go. And slowly throttle up. Both engines are stable, and set takeoff thrust here. Alright, trying to maintain the center line, putting some down pressure on the yoke, and we're going to rotate at 133 knots here. Alright, coming up on 100 knots. That's 110, 120, V1, and rotate. Alright, and here we go. Positive rate, putting the gear up. Looking good. And now all we do is climb up to 3,000 here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn autopilot on. Alright. Contacting Vienna Center. Acknowledge that handoff. Alright. So we're currently on heading hold and vertical speed hold. So we'll just wait to contact Vienna Center. So right as I climb through 3,000 feet here, I'm going to turn LNAV on. And we're going to be making our left turn here towards Linz waypoint. Cool, and we're still climbing. Let's contact Vienna Center.
Vienna Center, United Alpha, Juliet, Uniform 4011 Heavy.
Got
is
nice town of Linz, Austria here.
Climbing FL 270.
Alright.
United Alpha, Juliet, Uniform
QNH 1013. Put that up a little bit. Oh, 1023. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so they just told us to continue. We're gonna head and put our flaps up now. And we are maintaining below 205 knots. We had that briefed earlier in our SID here. It says to maintain below 205 knots. Here, max 205 on the turn. However, I don't know if they want us to keep that 205 for the whole length up, but we'll keep it at least till we get to our Linz VOR over there. So here we are climbing through the clouds. Let's see if I can turn this weather on here. If we can see anything on the radar. Don't see much. Cool, so there we go, heading towards Lima November Zulu, the Linz waypoint, and we have to be at or above 3,000, which is already done. We're climbing up through 7,000 feet. Beautiful, smooth takeoff. And we are already breaking through the clouds here. We've got the top of climb already at Milan. We are climbing to 270. Okay, 270 cruising altitude. I had set 25, so let's set that up 270. And we're climbing at 2,500 feet per minute on LNAV, vertical speed, speed hold. Flight director is on. And just looking good, guys. Flying over Austria now. We've made that nice takeoff, followed all the restrictions, speed restrictions, altitude restrictions. Let's go ahead and zoom out here. Nice. Yeah, so it looks like there was like a holding pattern. That's weird. That's a weird departure. I've never seen something like that. They tell you to depart out, head to the waypoint, and then hold at the waypoint. It's bizarre. It's like hold until we tell you to go faster. Alright. So climbing through 10,000. I think we don't need a speed restriction anymore. Let's go ahead and make our engines work here. Trying to speed up a bit. Might have trouble speeding up since we're climbing quite quickly. So let's put the vertical speed down and try to help the engines speed the plane up. It looks like we are already at the Linz waypoint and turning left towards Milan. Perfect. How far are we from Milan? It's a pretty short flight here. Yeah, 307 miles out of Milan, so we're going to get there quite quickly. So we've pretty much done all our takeoff briefing here. Now we're just going to be flying over the Alps. It's going to be a nice view if there's not too many clouds. So we got our descent approach now into Milan. Our descent clearance, we got down at 17,000 feet. And we are cleared ILS Zulu 35 left via the Inler transition. I don't think we had the Inler transition set up, so we're going to go to the departure arrival page. Transition Inler, there we go. So transition Inler wasn't on. Let's see what happens if I put Inler transition on. Where's Inler? Okay, it's just one waypoint further, so that's fine. Let's execute that. And hopefully it doesn't change much here. We just execute. So we're going direct to 13 Sierra Romeo November. So I've already briefed it myself, but I'll go over it with you guys. So once you get on your approach here, you always want to look at your charts.
4011 heavy descend and
All right.
maintain 4,000 feet.
Alright, we're clear down to 4,000, so putting that into our altitude. Let's acknowledge it.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. United Alpha Juliet Uniform 4011 heavy.
Alright, 4,000 feet is set. And let's get familiar with our approach here. So we were coming in on the Evrip waypoint here. Here is 13 Sierra Romeo November. And it says flight level 13,000 at this point. So I don't think it's a restriction. It's more of a suggestion. So yeah, we're going to climb through there. 9,000 feet here at our turn. So we're coming in here. We're going to make a left turn into our right traffic here. Then we want to be at about 5,000 feet at Riggin, and then we're turning on, making a right turn here towards, what's that waypoint called there? Inler. So towards our Inler waypoint. I think there's a discontinuity happening, so let's go get rid of that. Yeah, so Riggin, after Riggin, I want to go direct to Inler actually, so I want to go direct to Inler after Riggin. So let's get that set up. There we go. So that's going to bring us direct to Inler. Cool. So we are descending out of 20,000 now. Engines are pretty much idle here for our descent. They wanted us to keep below 180 knots, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to keep on descending at least 250 until we get to 10,000 feet. So yeah, I'm going to keep it around 240 here. Cool, so we set it up now so that we're going to be making a right turn after Inler, and we want to be at about 4,000 feet at Inler and into the ILS runway 35 left into Milan. We already passed all the Alps. We left those behind us over there. Let's see if we can see them if I get out into this view. And we could kind of see the mountains back there. Yeah, there's still some mountains around. Flying the smooth 737 in. So yeah, I always suggest looking at your charts. Uh-oh, what happened to our charts? I hope it didn't close on me here. Cool. So yeah, always good to brief your arrival here. So you go look at your star first of all, look at your waypoints, your altitudes. You know, it tells you flight level 1090, 5,000, and it looks like we are making now a right turn. Cool. So we will be slowing down as we are descending. Alright, so altimeter now needs to be changed. Unfortunately, they didn't give us the altimeter, so you can always look online. Let me see right here. I'm looking online, and I put in, where are we landing? Milan, Mitar. There we go. And the altimeter is 1022 in Milan, so I'll just set that. I'll take standard off, and look at that, we're already at 1022, we're at 1023, so just put that down to 21.9, that's pretty much 22, so the altimeter is set. Now I'm trying to slow the plane down so that we're going to be at 4,000 feet at Inler. Looks like we'll be fine, descending at 18,000 feet per minute, no, 1,800 feet per minute. So let's get into the ILS approach now. We'll set that up. So we already looked at our charts here. We know, we briefed how we want to approach, and we want to be at about 4,000 feet here at the Inler waypoint. And this is where we go to our ILS chart here, ILS 35 Zulu. And we're going to set our ILS frequency into our airplane. So 109.1 is our ILS frequency. So we're going to set that here. I'm going to make it a little bit brighter here. Alright, there we go. So 109.1, 109.10, and don't forget to put it to active. So now our ILS is active. We pretty much told our our, you know, instruments to be looking for this VOR here, Malpensa IMA. That's what your ILS is kind of looking for here. So we're now making a left turn onto right traffic. Trying to descend now. I might use some speed brakes to help us descend. Look at that. We already have the ILS. You know, it's already capturing it. You know, it's sensing the signals from the ILS system. So it tells us that we're 12.6 miles away. So, you know, we're pretty close because the ILS signal is coming from right here. But we're still going to have to come down on our right traffic here into Milan. Hopefully I can make a nice landing for you guys. I'm starting to get used to the 737 and trying to descend this to 250 here. So we're gonna set a little bit of speed brake just to help us down, and then once we get past 250 knots, we're gonna set our flaps down to 5 because that's the flap restriction on the 737. 250 knots, you can set your flaps to 5. So we're just monitoring it. Should be slowing down shortly. And it looks like we're going to be making it for 4,000 feet at Inler. Alright, so we're pretty much at 250 here, 251. That's close enough. Alright. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, no. Oh, man. I put it at 251 and now... Oh, wow. Well, I learned my lesson and I'll wait for 250 next time. Alright, speed brakes into the armed position now. Wow, that's annoying, isn't it? Really, 251 and you give me excessive speed. I was pretty much at 250.2, you know. We could round it down at 250. Alright. Still descending to 4,000 feet. So let's look at our chart. So here we have the Inler waypoint telling us that we want to be at 190 knots. That's actually, at Inler here. 190 knots. I'm not sure why it says at or above 3,000 ATC, at or above 4,000. Maybe it's if ATC clears me down to 3,000, then I'll go. But if not, I maintain 4,000. It does say warning, false localizer capture may occur. So I guess we'll keep that in mind. If ever something weird's happening, we'll know that there's maybe a false localizer thing happening. And always good to look at your go around here. So max 210 knots on the go around, and we're making a turn at 1,450 feet towards Eggfall. I think it's the Eggfall waypoint, and then we're holding at Eggfall at 190 knots. So we want to be at 190 knots at Inler. So let's get this plane slowing down here. Still descending to 4,000 feet. Looks like we're going to be fine. We should be making it to 4,000 feet at Inler. What's our next flap restriction? 210 knots. So at 210, I'll set my flaps to 10. And I'll wait till I pass it this time so I don't get some aviator performance down. That's some bullshit. That annoys me because I'm going to lose some points just because of 1 knot. Alright, flaps set to 10. Flaps 15 at 200, so we can set flaps 15 already. And we are at 185 knots. Perfect. So we're gonna hold here max 180 knots at Ekpop. So once we hit Inler here, it does say at 190 knots, so I'll actually set my speed exactly to 190 since that's what it says. Doesn't say at or above or at or below, it says at. So try to be precise and making a right base now towards Inler. Perfect. So this is where we need to get ready to set our localizer and approach mode on for the ILS. It looks like both of them are captured here, which means that it's sensing the signal for both localizer and glide slope, so we could just go ahead and turn approach hold on. I've seen many times, and a lot of you might realize that the localizer can be captured much further than the glide slope. So if ever they send you in a really long downwind here and make you turn in from far, you might have to, like, you won't get the glide slope until you get closer, but you will get the localizer. The localizer is sensed earlier, so then you'd only turn VOR localizer mode on. But since localizer and glide slope are both captured, I can just directly turn approach hold on, and glide slope and VOR localizer turn on. If ever glide slope wasn't captured or signals weren't felt, then it wouldn't even you wouldn't even be able to turn approach mode on. You would only be able to turn localizer mode. So coming into beautiful Italy, holding at 190 knots because that's what our chart said, 190 at Inler, and then max 180 at Epcot, Ekpop, and then max 170 at 7.2 miles away from IMA. So as you can see, there's IMA, DME 17.4, so when that says 7.2, we know that we have to be at about 170 knots or below. We're going to go ahead and set our course here, 346 for arrival. Just going to go back to 346 here, and we'll go ahead and turn our map mode on to approach hold. So approach hold kind of gives you a better look at your localizer and your glide slope here right on your flight display. So we should be capturing the localizer anytime now. We'll see this turn green once we've captured it. And once we make our right turn towards Ekpop, we're going to slow down to 180 knots. Alright, making a right turn, but localizer hasn't been captured yet. There we go. Localizer's green. Glide slope is still white because we're waiting for this pink diamond to move down.
401 heavy U are 17 miles south of Malpensa. Contact tower on 120. Niner when inbound.
Alright, we've got our... No, fuck me. Press sail again.
4011 heavy, say again, please.
Alright, slowing to 180 now.
Uniform 4011 heavy U are 15 miles south of Malpensa. Contact tower on 120. Niner when inbound.
Alright, we're gonna acknowledge. There we go. I pressed say again by accident.
3,000 feet. Keep speed.
Oh, alright, we got clear down to 3,000 also. And they told us to keep speed below 170, so we're gonna go and set speed down to 170. Alright, yeah, so they told us speed below 170 and down to 3,000 feet. So vertical speed is on, and let's go ahead and descend a little bit quicker down to 3,000 feet here. We're gonna tune tower, which is gonna probably clear us for ILS approach, 35 left.
4011 heavy 1 3 miles south inbound ILS Zulu
Alright.
tree 5L approach.
And we're gonna set our approach to 30 flaps and 135 knots. 1019er on the QNH. Gonna set that 1019er, and they cleared us for ILS 35 left approach.
Zulu runway tree 5L approach. United Alpha Juliet uniform 4011 heavy.
A little bit disappointed with the graphics here. It's good from a close radius, but you know, it could be better for far. We've got runway in sight over there. We got a nice day in Milan, Italy. And yeah, we are just descending to 3,000. So we made it to our altitude now. We're gonna set our flaps 30. And we got the 2,500 feet called, so we're gonna put the gear down. And one thing I forgot to check is our minimums, which I didn't set, so I'm gonna go do that real quickly. You should do that earlier, don't wait till the last second like me. I'm not sure, I think we're on a Cat 3 here, so, or Cat 2, 105, we'll just set that, 105 on our baro minimums here, barometric, and 105. The other one said company, so, you know, you choose your minimums depending on the company, but we are on, we're flying Austrian Airlines, so I don't know. And we just intercepted the glide slope now. So, yeah, plane's fully established and bringing us down. I'm gonna go ahead and slow to 160 here, and we're gonna hold 160 till we get close to the runway. Alright, coming in on the approach. Hopefully the runways kind of render in a little better. There we go. Alright, so I set my auto brakes to 1. We're gonna get our landing clearance. Alright, acknowledge our landing clearance here.
Clear to land runway tree 5L, United Alpha, Juliet uniform.
Alright,
4011 heavy.
and we got clear to land. I'm gonna go ahead and look at our ground chart here. Well, never mind. We'll do that after. Let's focus on the landing. So we are fully established. ILS 3-5 left in Milan, guys. Hope you enjoy this ILS landing tutorial and this full flight. If you're watching the whole flight, I might post them as 2 separate videos. If you're watching at this point, make sure you like and subscribe. I love seeing your comments too. Let me know what you want to see, what I did wrong. I'm not a professional by far. Alright, 1,000 feet above the ground. And we're holding at 160 knots. I'm gonna slow down soon, down to 140. Alright, slowing us to 140, and our landing speed, we're looking for 185 here. So, slowing down. Perfect. Let's turn off autopilot here and fly it in by hand. I've got control. Keeping an eye on the glide slope. And our speed, trying to keep it around 140 knots here. Alright, we're a bit high, trying to bring the engines down, nose down a little bit. And we're back under the glide slope. Alright, going visual here.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And just flaring it off nice and gently. And we've touched down in Milan. Reverse thrusting on. And trying to keep it back on the center line. Reversers are green and we are slowing down. Alright, we won't get this taxiway, but we'll get the next one. Reverse off. And gonna manual brake here. I think we need to turn left. We need to turn left or right? Yeah, it looks like left is a little better. Oh, I see our gate. There we go. Cool. It's right over here, guys. I can see that little blue, yeah, they're giving us weird, taxi instructions. I mean, they give us 3 parallel runways, or, taxiways. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, nice full career mode flight and ILS landing into Milan from Austria. Nice little flight over the Alps.